Okay, so here we are in the back now. Now this is obviously the left side rear. I did take apart the right side rear, but I wanted to stop on that right side. I wanted to show you something before I went any further. All right, but let me explain what we're going to do first. Is we're going to come in here with a pry bar, and we're going to push that piston all the way back in as far as we can. We're going to take out that 10 millimeter there, and we're going to move the caliper off to the side. We are going to take off this hardware kit here, and we're going to replace it, and then we're going to take this rotor off the car. That's where I'm going to show you how you run into a little bit of a problem. Sometimes taking off these rotors are a real pain in the rear end because they get rust lips on the inside, and with that rust lip is what keeps the drum or rotor from sliding off. So what I'm going to show you is how to take off the adjustment on the parking brake. And the way you do that is you come up underneath here. Let's get a light in here so you can see. And you see right here, you take out this little piece right here. It's a little piece of rubber. You're probably going to have to use a screwdriver. Oh, come right out. All right, we take that out right there. And then we're going to get in here with a screwdriver and we're going to back off that wheel. Let me just show you on the other side which wheel I'm talking about. This is the wheel that I'm talking about. This is your adjuster for your parking brake. So you just come in through the back. Let me grab a screwdriver, I'll show you. Okay, what you would do is you would come in through the back this way with the screwdriver just like that. And then you would take off the adjustment of the parking brake by just reducing the diameter of this here. It'll actually shrink it down. So you would get in here and you would take the adjustment off just like that. Now one way is obviously going to be making it tighter and the other way is going to be making it looser, so make sure you're turning in the correct direction. Now the reason I didn't put this back together is I want to show you after we put the rotor on the other side how to adjust this to the correct drag. So all right, let's get back on the other side and continue over there. You take your pry bar and you put it back in there until it comes out right on this side, right up in here. It comes out through the opening, and then you just keep pressure on this, and you're going to push that piston back into the bore. Now remember, it's very rusty, so it may go in slowly or it may go in quick, and that one went in pretty quick. All right. So now our piston is pushed back in. We're going to make sure it's recessed all the way in. Okay, it's all the way in there. Now we want to make sure these slide pins are okay, so we'll slide the caliper back and forth. It's a little stiff, but it does slide, so the slide pins are actually good. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to take out those two 10 millimeter bolts right there. Very simple. Counterclockwise is taking it off, and clockwise puts it back on. Don't lose these. You'll need to put these back in, of course. Now this particular car, they're same length, but always make sure that your bolts are the same one. Sometimes you'll find a different bolt top and bottom, but not in this case. Then we're going to take this off. Now these are a little bit rusty, so you may have to just give it a little bit of a pry to get it to move. This piece here we're just going to push down. That's the anti-rattle. And then we push this off like that. This comes right out. And we'll put this to the side for now. And we'll come back to that in just a minute. But we're going to put this off to the side now as well. This one we're going to put in the trash pile because you know this is dead. But you see how this is? Let me show you. Okay, this is the old brake pad. This is the new brake pads. Now this one is an outer. It tells you right on the outside, outer. But you see this is in a different location than this one. So we know this one is not the right one. This one is the correct one. The bracket is in the correct location, the anti-rattle, and everything looks fine. All right, so this is the one that we're going to put on this side here. So we'll put that there for now. Now let's take that rotor off. Let's see what happens. Okay. Now this rotor came right off. If it didn't come off, then you would adjust it off like I did on the other side. So let's take this out. The other side did not come off. But what happens is, in the light in here so you can see, rust lip inside there on the drum, that's what causes it not to come off. This gets all extremely rusty in here, and that's why it doesn't come off. So we just back off on the adjustment, and it'll come right off. All right, so now let's put our new one back on, but before we do that, we're going to take this hardware off. These usually just pop off, but you can just tap it. And they come right out. Like that. And you can see there's a lot of rust on here. So these we're going to put in the trash, of course. Now it's important that when you put this back together that you make sure all that rust is off. So we're just going to take the rust off. It's very important that you get all that rust off of there so that it doesn't interfere with it as it slides. Now we'll take our new hardware out. They're all the same, left and right side. But you can see inside here, there's a little tiny clip right there. You see that little clip there? This has to go on the outside. Make sure you put this in correctly. That piece of the mounting bracket has to fit in between those two pieces right there, okay? A little bit of the brake caliper grease. Same thing here, just a little bit, you don't need a lot. Now we'll just put this over here. And you can just tap it down. If you put it on and it doesn't sit down all the way, you can tap it this way or you can tap it this way as needed. Put this one down all the way. Right? And now we'll put the replacement one up on the top. That's it. Now, if you're trying to do this and you're not sure that it's up all the way, you could very easily just take a brake pad like this, put it on here like this, and see if it slides in there. If the brake pad slides in, then you know you're in all the way. Now this is a little bit snug on here, so we're going to tap this down just a little bit more. We'll do the same thing on the other side. With the inner brake pad. Same thing. Fits in there nice. Okay. So now we know that that's in there correctly. They slide nice and freely. So, all right. Let me get some grease. I had to change my gloves, and we'll come right back. Now we did clean our rotor off already with brake cleaner. Just put it on, just make sure it goes on all the way. Now this, you can see, is very loose. There's no drag on that whatsoever. So before we put our brakes on, we're going to set the drag on this. It's very important that the rotor is on all the way when you try to tighten this up. So we're just going to put this nut on here to hold the rotor in place. So now the rotor's on, and you can see got to be adjusted a little bit. All right, and the way you do it is you get in here. I'm going to use the screwdriver so you have an idea of how to do it. And you get in here with the screwdriver and you just turn the adjuster just like that. And you're just going to turn it one click at a time until the drag is sufficient. Now by sufficient, it should be able to spin with some drag on it, and you should be able to turn it with a little bit of drag. All right, let's try it and see. A little bit more. Okay. All right, that should do it. Let's put up the caliper and put it back together now. Don't forget to put your little plastic holder, your little rubber seal back inside here. Okay, this is how the drag should be on here. You should be able to have a little drag on it, but not too tight. All right, so now that part is done. We did put our rubber seal in the back over here, and now we're going to put our caliper back on as well. Now, this is the slide pins right here. We are going to lubricate these, so we're just going to push these out just like this. And we'll just take them out. If they're really dirty, you want to clean it off with some brake cleaner. But they're actually fairly clean, so we're just going to lubricate a little bit like this. And then we'll put it back in. You may have to wiggle it around to get it to go in properly. And make sure that your seal pops right back up on the top and the bottom. The bottom's on, and top is on. All right, and we'll take this one out here as well. Same thing, if it's dirty, you want to clean it, but this is nice and clean. We're just going to put a little bit of it on here. Now we're going to take this. We'll put it back in. Now, we're going to put that there for 1 second. We're going to grab our brake pad. The inner brake pad, we're going to put a little bit of grease on here. It makes it slide into the caliper piston a little easier. You take it and you put it on here like this, and you just push it, and it pops right back in, right? Make sure that every place that the brake pad is going to touch has a little bit of lubricant on it, the brake silicone. And then we'll take our brake pad and just push it in. And it pops right in. We'll take our next brake pad here. And now these little tiny clips right here have to pop in to those holes right there. So that's what we're going to do. Push it over here like this. And then you can see it popped in all the way. It's nice and flush against the back here and here. So we're in all the way. Next thing we're going to do is going to lubricate every place that the brake pad is going to touch. All right? And then we have to hook the bottom in down here first, because it's actually, you see how it has that little bit of a that U-shaped area right there. So we put the bottom in first, just like this. Make sure that your slide pin is back all the way. Slide it over the top of the new shim that you put in. And now we'll just push this in. Push the other slide pin back in. And just tap it in. That. And now we're going to take our 2 bolts. Okay, I don't know where I lost you. I looked back and the camera was off. I guess the battery pack died out. All right, so we have our brake pads in. Everything is lubricated where the brake pad touches. We tightened up our 10mm bolts here and here. We're going to take that nut off here now because we don't need that any longer. All right. That's it. This side is all finished. So now we're going to go over to the other side. Remember, you lubricated everything, including this anti-rattle piece right here. All right, so now we're going to go over the other side, and we'll wrap this job up. Okay, so that's it. Front is done. Back is done. Well, back is almost done. I still got to get to the right side and put that side back together. But as far as you're concerned, this job is done. All right, so before you drive anywhere, you want to do two things. You want to check the brake fluid level in the master cylinder, make sure it's okay. And the next thing you want to do is before you drive the car, get in the car, step on the brake pedal 5, 6, 7 times, whatever, until the piston comes right back up to the top, or the brake pedal comes back up to the top. The brake pedal drops down to the floor because the pistons that we just pushed back into the bore with that tool, they need to come back out to come in contact with the new brake pads. So we need to pump that brake pedal up before we take it out for a test drive. As always, thanks for watching. See you on the next one.